Rhythm sentence vocabulary memorizing. Rhythm sentence vocab. David Pai S. Rhythm sentence vocabulary memorizing. 1007000. By David Pai. 1. With my own ears I clearly heard the heartbeat of the nuclear bomb. 2. Next year the bearded bear will bear a dear baby in the rear. 3. Early I searched through the earth for earthenware so as to research an earthquake. 4. I learn that learned earnest men earn much by learning. 5. She swears to wear the pearls that appear to be pears. 6. I nearly fear to tear the tearful girl's test paper. 7. The bold folk fold up the gold and hold it in hand. 8. The customers are accustomed to the disgusting custom. 9. The dust in the industrial zone frustrated the industrious man. 10. The just budget judge just justifies the adjustment of justice. 11. I used to abuse the unusual usage but now I'm not used to doing so. 12. The lace placed in the palace is replaced first and displaced later. 13. I paced in the peaceful spacecraft. 14. Sir, your bird stirred my girlfriend's birthday party. 15. The waterproof material is suitable for the aerial used near the waterfall. 16. I hint that the faint saint painted the printer with a pint of paint. 17. At any rate the separation ratio is accurate. 18. The boundary around the round ground separates us from the surroundings. 19. The blunder made the underground instrument undergo an undermining of the thunderbolt. 20. The tilted salt filters halt alternately for altering. 21. The wandering band abandoned her bandaged husband on Swan Island. 22. The manly Roman woman manager by the banner had man's manner. 23. In the lane the planer saw a planet airplane under the crane. 24. The wet pet in the net hasn't got on the jet plane yet. 25. After maintenance the main remains and remainders are left on the domain. 26. The grandson branded the brandy randomly. 27. The landlord's land on the heightland of the mainland expanded a lot. 28. Utilize the fertilizer to keep the land fertile. 29. The Grand Commander demands thousands of sandy sandwiches. 30. I infer that he is indifferent to differentiating the offers in different conferences. 31. The maximum plus or minus the minimum makes minute difference. 32. The witty witness withdraws his words within minutes without any reason. 33. The cake maker shakes a naked snake with the quaking rake without sake. 34. By the crook the cook looked through a cookbook before making hooked cookies. 35. The writer writes the white book quite quietly in quilt. 36. On the chilly hillside he is unwilling to write his will on the 10-shilling bill. 37. The weaver will leave for the heavy heaven. 38. The handy left-hander left a handsome handkerchief on the handle of the handbag. 39. The thief chief achieved the theft of a handkerchief for mischief. 40. I believe my brief words will relieve her grief. 41. At the dock I'm shocked to see the pocket rocket made of a block of rock. 42. Standing under the outstanding rock I misunderstood his standard standpoint. 43. The substantial part of the Constitution about the institution of institutes is substituted. 44. Spell smell. Very well, the well-being for human being will swell. 45. Once none of you is here, the man in throne will live alone in the lonely zone. 46. Nowadays the once unknown snowy hill is well known for snowstorm. 47. For instance, I can instantly know the constant distance. 48. The man beyond the bond is fond of the second wonderful diamond. 49. While sinking into thinking, the shrinking linkman drank the pink ink sprinkled on the wrinkly paper. 50. The contribution distributor thinks the microcomputer pollution is absolutely beyond dispute. 51. He repeatedly repeats eat meat. 52. Having cancelled X-ray scan, the cancerous candidate on the canvas ate the idle candles in the candy can. X. 53. The dominant candidate is nominally nominated for president. 54. The extravagant savage made the interior and exterior criteria of deterioration. 55. No, nobody's body is noble, nor is his. 56. Axe the tax on taxis. Wax may relax the body. 57. The man in mask asked me for a task. I let him put the basket on the desk in the dusk. 58. The lump jumped off the pump and bumped on the trumpet in the dump. 59. On my request, the conqueror questioned the man who jumped the queue. 60. They are arguing about the document of the monumental instrument. 61. However, lever never fevers, nevertheless he is clever forever. 62. I never mind your unkind reminding that my grindstone hinders your cylinder. 63. I feed the food to the bleeding man in the flood. 64. It's a treason terror of the seasonal overseas seafood is reasonable. 65. The veteran in velvet found that the diameter of the thermometer was 1 meter. 66. The cube in the tubular cup occupies 1 cubic meter. 67. Put the spotless potatoes, tomatoes and tobacco atoms into the hot pot. 68. The preacher preached to the teacher's teacup. 69. My behavior is on behalf of half zebras, the algebra teacher said. 70. Unlike my uncle, I likely like that bicycle. 71. She likes nothing but things of clothing and cloth. 72. The doctor's doctrine undid $1 and a dozen of collars. 73. On the bus the busy businessman did a business with the buyer. 74. Vegetables and tablets on the stably established table show no instability. 75. Primarily the prime criminal's crime has nothing to do with lime and overtime. 76. The ring on the spring string rings during springtime. 77. Shut in the hut, I'm puzzled how to cut down the output of nuts. 78. It's better to put letters at the inlet and outlet. 79. During this serious period the superior asked the inferior a series of questions about the supermarket. 80. I tuned the tone of the stone phone with a bone. 81. On Revenue Avenue the grave traveler jumped the gravestone bravely. 82. The slave safely saved the sharp shavers in a cave nearby the cafeteria. 83. Most hosts are hostile to the foremost ghost hostage almost to the utmost. 84. The mapper trapped in the gap tapped the tap rapper with strap. 85. The scout with shoulder straps shouted on the outermost route as a routine. 86. The reproached coach unloaded the loaves to the approachable roadside. 87. The news about the broadened breadth is broadcast abroad. 88. The motive of the emotional movie is to move the removed men. 89. Otherwise mother will go to another movie together with brother. 90. Furthermore we gathered leather and feather for the future colder weather. 91. Before the premiere the old soldier scolds the cold weather. 92. Whether the weather is good or bad neither father nor I am going to the gathering. 93. The particle party's partner participated in the particular parliament. 94. For convenience of intensive study he has an intense intention of making friend with me. 95. The virtueless girl's duty is to wash the dirty shirts and skirts in the outskirts. 96. I glimpsed the dancer balancing herself on the ambulance by chance. 97. Balloon baseball, basketball, football and volleyball all dance ballet on the volcano. 98. A gallon of gasoline and the nylon overalls fall into the valley. 99. Palm calmly recalled the so-called caller. 100. In the hall the shallow challenger shall be allowed to swallow the swallows. David Pai. Rhythm sentence vocabulary memorized.